How's it going, everyone? It is that time again. PlayStation Plus is celebrating its 15-year anniversary. I remember when the service launched in 2010. I remember, being on PlayStation 3 all the time. One of the great benefits was the fact we didn't have to pay to play online, albeit the PS3 online was kinda cooked, no cross-game voice chat, and, you had the PlayStation Network outage of 2011. It wasn't all great times for online play on PS3, but I still remember the great days of Killzone 2, SOCOM, Metal Gear Solid 4 online, etc., etc., but then Sony did introduce PlayStation Plus. Initially, it was a service that wasn't tied to online play. It was just giving out monthly titles. Wipeout HD Fury was the most notable one in the first month. I remember that vividly. I want to say it was Fat Princess and Superstardust HD were the two other games alongside Wipeout HD, but I'm probably wrong on that. It's been so long. And then obviously when the PlayStation 4 came out, I still remember when they snuck in that, you would need PlayStation Plus to play online. First, I think how they structured it was they did the big, oh, your PlayStation 4 is gonna play used games, but then they got that little sly dig in there. Oh, by the way, you're gonna need PS Plus to play online, and it's gonna give you online play with Plus subscriptions. But nonetheless, it has been incredibly profitable for Sony and PlayStation, even though I have my criticisms about it. The reality is, the objective truth is that they are making money hand over fist when it comes to PlayStation Plus, and that idea of ever getting free online play, consider that a pipe dream. At least anytime in the near future, that is going to be an absolute pipe dream, unless there is a competitor that comes into play and they set a new standard where online play is free. Nintendo, online play isn't free. Xbox, online play isn't free. PlayStation online play isn't free. And if a competitor came on board, realize that that would be a significant amount of money that they would be leaving on the table, and I don't know who's looking to be coming into the console space. Nevertheless, Stephen Totilo had an in-depth conversation with Nick McGuire, Vice President of Global Services at PlayStation, who recently spoke to GameFile on the occasion of the pending 15-year anniversary, and there is so much interesting information in this post and in this interview, so much, and we'll break it down one by one. He noted engagement in Plus has never been higher than it is right now. We've given something like 500 games through monthly games over the year. He estimated 15% of subscribers have hundreds of those games in their own library. The rework that came in 2022 has surpassed our expectations, McGuire said, the rework being the PlayStation Plus Extra and Premium alongside Essential tiering system alongside PlayStation Plus. It's really given us a new way to reach the audience with these games, and it's given new value to partners to find new people to play their titles, and just the engagement we see from it is really positive in terms of the number of people choosing that catalog and coming back month after month. In 2023, Sony raised the price of the 3+ tiers with the yearly prices increasing across the board. This spring, Sony also raised the price of Plus in some regions, and if you know how subscription services work, expect the price points to increase and increase and increase, because that's how the world works. 2 weeks ago, Sony Interactive Entertainment CEO Hideaki Nishino said in a pre-recorded chat for investors that the Plus price increase has been partly a result of increasing value we bring to players. This has not slowed subscriber uptake of the platform. I will say that I vehemently disagree that there is an increased value with PlayStation Plus. We break down the Plus Extra and Premium offerings every month. Just recently, we literally had a month with PlayStation Plus Premium where something like 8 games got pulled from the service, and the one game getting added to the service was like Battle Station Aquila, and like literally 8 games got pulled, like a whole slew of VR titles and some other classic games. Resistance got pulled from streaming. You guys get the idea. And we talk about the games getting pulled from the service from PlayStation Plus alongside the games getting added to the service, and the majority of months these days, the games getting pulled from the service outweigh the games getting added to the service by orders of magnitude a lot of the times, and at the very best these days, it's like you'll get equal value in terms of the games getting added versus the games getting leaving the service. But remember, Plus went up in price. They're saying that there's this increased value. Yes, there's game streaming for PlayStation Portal now, but I'm talking about Extra and Premium from a game catalog standpoint. I think really you can't make an argument for the fact that the catalog has has improved in quality. In my opinion, it just has not. I'm willing to have that argument with somebody, but I think the majority of my audience would agree that without a shadow of a doubt, the quality of the catalog has gone down, from PlayStation removing their own first-party games with Infamous Second Son, Horizon Zero Dawn, Spider-Man getting pulled, and then the massacre of games that get pulled month over month. And then you look at the games getting added to the service, the quantity has gone down, and I would argue the quality has gone down as well. Look at April of this year. I believe that was the month with Blueprints, where Blueprints, great game, 93 on Metacritic, 91, whatever. It was like a 6-game addition to the service, where before you were literally getting 12, 13, 11 games getting added to the service. In April of 2025, it was 6 games, and that's not something that's rare now. You see 6 to 8 additions a month often, and sometimes, you know, quality over quantity. I get that, but I would say the quality has gone down as well in a large regard on top of that. Nishino did add, we will continue to add more value and adjust our pricing strategy in a dynamic way to maximize profitability. What to me that means is we will continue reducing the value proposition to Plus, because I believe without a shadow of a doubt the value proposition has gone down. But do not get it twisted. We will still increase the price point, because that is what we've seen across the board when it comes to PlayStation Plus. McGuire, on the other hand, said he had no comments, no plans on pricing to talk about directly. I think we just want to invest in Plus, he said. We want to invest in the proposition and bring more value to users, and we're seeing high growth in Extra and Premium. Let me say this. Yes, there has been growth in Extra and Premium. If anybody can utilize a single brain cell, they will also realize that PlayStation has very much adjusted how they offer discounts to PlayStation Plus now. Everybody's picked up on this. We just saw how it turned out with Days of Play. For those people looking to extend, not sign up to Essential for the first time, extend their Essential subscription, was there a deal offered for you? There was not. The offer that was available for Days of Play for people signing up for Essential were first-time or new subscribers to Essential, people that were unsubscribed for a while or never subscribed to the service. Then you would save, I believe it was 25% or 20%. Now, if you were an Essential subscriber, you were able to upgrade the remainder of your subscription duration to Extra for a discounted rate. Premium, you ended up getting the best discounted rate. They are incentivizing you with discounts to sign up to Extra and Premium, and I do know a lot of people that wait to sign up for these services. Now, ultimately, what they'll do is they want to do everything in their power to get your foot in the door to Premium and Extra. So they'll give you these spicy discounts. Ultimately, what they hope for is that you will keep that subscription service over time, and you will pay the regular rate of whatever, $160 a year, $120 a year for Extra. You get the idea, $135 a year for Extra and $160 a year for Premium. But we'll see if people are converted. A lot of the times, the reality is people are converted into long-time subscribers, because while I will criticize the value proposition of Extra, for a lot of people, $135 a year to be subscribed to a subscription service, or $160 a year for a subscription service for a console that they play regularly, it's a drop in the bucket. I get it. I talk about price points all the time. I talk about saving money. The reality is, and I know this from talking to so many people, friends of mine that are subscribed to Game Pass, and they play 2 games a year, but guess what? It's X amount of dollars a month. They just have that subscription. That's how subscription services can be so powerful, because once you have it, sometimes people are just like, you know what, it's just a couple dollars a month, $10, $15 a month, I'll just keep it. I know in my comments section, I see the outpouring of people being like, man, Plus is trash, I'm canceling. It's unfortunate to me that it is probably a vocal minority, and when you look at the stats that Sony's putting out, it does seem like it's a vocal minority of people that are unsubscribing to Plus. Now, will people stay subscribed to Plus, Extra, and Premium if the value proposition doesn't change? I don't know. Obviously, people are going to sign up to Essential, because guess what? Online play is baked into it, and the most notable games these days are still online titles. As much as I love my single-player games, COD's going to sell big every year. NBA 2K is going to be one of the biggest games every year. Madden's going to be one of the biggest games every year. People are going to want to play Battlefield, etc., etc., etc. Sony did note premium has grown 18% in the last 12 months. Maguire said, noting Sony is able to reinvest in the service by adding features such as game streaming on PS Portal and support for Sony Pictures Core. I get that some people love the PS Portal, game streaming, etc., etc. Sony Pictures Core with their movies, I guess. If you like that stuff, more power to you. They also note we've gone past 2 billion hours of gameplay in the last year across our first and third-party games. Great to them. We've sort of stayed true to our strategy across the board. We're not looking to put games in day and date. Nobody expects this with the first-party major titles. Yes, you'll have the FBC Firebreaks of the world. You'll have the Blue Princes of the world, which that was a slam dunk in terms of getting a game like that. You'll get the, I want to say it's called Sea of Swords. It's coming out in August. That game looks great. But you'll get games of that caliber, those lesser known games that you might get a banger like a Stray in there. You'll get the Tales of Kanzera Zhao's in there, but in terms of top level big budget games, you're not getting that. You know, Xbox Game Pass gets games like Persona 3 Reload. You can't expect that with Plus Extra, and I don't think anybody has that expectation. Nobody is saying, oh, add this day one game, add that day one game. There's a happy medium where I think there's quality games to be added, and oh, how about not pulling your first party games? I think that would mean something to us as well, but I digress. Our strategy of finding 4 or 5 independent day-and-date titles and using that to complement our strategy of bringing games in when they're 12 to 18 months older, that balance is working well for us across the platform. And the tally of 4 to 5 day one third-party games for Plus isn't set in stone. If there were 6 or 7 great opportunities, then we would go for them as well. That's about the cadence that we're seeing. I would ideally like to see like one low-key third-party day one title every month, like a smaller scale game that being on Plus Extra would actually give that game a little bit more recognition and shine, but looks like 6 to 7 is the ceiling, at least for now, but we'll see. That could change. An FBC Firebreak got added day one. You know, that game isn't lighting the world on fire. Blueprints, great addition there. Stray, great addition. The Tales of Kanzera Zhao's, you know, that was what it was. Dredge, I believe that was a PlayStation Plus day one title on, you know, when it got its PlayStation port. And so on and so forth. And Sony is going to be steadfast on not adding first-party games, and I don't think that'll be happening. They're probably going to go, you know, 18 months down the line. You're not seeing a Stellar Blade on PlayStation Plus. You're not seeing an Astrobot on PlayStation Plus. You know, Stellar Blade could be used as a driving tool for PlayStation Plus in January of next year, in February of next year. Same for Astrobot, you know, in June of next year, maybe Days of Play 26, they add an Astrobot. You know, that would be a sizable addition. But that's not going to happen shortly after release or day one. We know that that's not going to happen. Maguire also noted, as far as adding a game to a service, how do we create a moment to grow a franchise maybe before a sequel is coming out? Yeah, that makes all the sense in the world. For the deeper PS4, PS5 game catalog access by extra and premium subscribers, Maguire said the goal is to add at least 2 to 3 games a month with new games offered to both tiers. They'll drop on a different day of the month to Essential, and we just try to keep it fresh and bring something different each month, so there's something for players to come back to. Sony also offers new classic games to Plus and for a premium. We're trying to bring in 1 a month minimum of the older premium classics. Obviously, there's a great emulation team in the background who are working on those with those partners and internal teams, so there's a slightly longer lead time sometimes. Again, I think the premium classics catalog has been pitiful. I think it's been dire, but you know what? Some people are happy with it, and hey, more power to them. They also noted, obviously, adding PS3 games is tougher, but 2025 drop doesn't indicate an end of support, though. Through streaming, we'll still continue to look at those ones. We haven't ruled them out. The opportunities are there, but there are a lot of PS3 games already streaming, so unfortunately, no backwards compatibility yet. We've got 80 collection of games across the catalog, so we want to keep it fresh and bring in new titles. Sometimes that means taking a few games out at the same time to keep the proposition interesting and help people find new games as well. What that means is the licensing deal comes to an end. We're not spending more money. We want to save money on how much we're spending. We want to allocate money towards other titles to bring in. That's why games will rotate out. In the case of first-party games, they don't spend anything to have an Infamous Second Son in the service, but what they could do is they could make an Infamous Second Son remaster and then prioritize people into buying that remastered copy for $40, $50, much like they did with Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered. That's usually why things like that do happen. They also note the top 10 most played PlayStation Plus games this spring, April 1st to May 28th, based on playtime hours, is Dead by Daylight, Ghost of Tsushima, God of War Ragnarok, Grand Theft Auto 5, Hogwarts Legacy, The Last of Us Part 1, Marvel Spider-Man, Miles Morales, Star Wars Jedi Survivor, Rainbow Six Siege, and UFC 5. So when you look at that, a lot of domination by first party there. You've got 4 first-party games with Miles Morales, Last of Us, God of War Ragnarok, Ghost of Tsushima, but your typical titles that you would expect as well, GTA 5, Hogwarts, Dead by Daylight being that high up is also pretty surprising to me. Cool to see Star Wars there as well. Phenomenal game if you watch our channel. They also did note in this interview that they do read the comments on the PlayStation blog. McGuire admits that he reads the comments. It can be helpful to understand where people are at and if we can take into our learnings in the future. Because our strategy is about having something for everyone, therefore, by definition, there's going to be some people who don't want anything that particular month. I would say that Essential, most people are usually pretty happy or can understand the value in it month to month. It's the extra catalog that I think has been an atrocity for the last year plus. You know, so there you go. That's a lot of the information there. Give GameFile a look. We did. Again, I wanted to give you guys my input on a lot of the information, and I feel like as somebody that's been covering PlayStation Plus month to month, and I have these unhinged meltdowns, but this is one area where a lot of people say I'm super negative when it comes to PlayStation. One area where people are just like understanding of the negativity more often than not is PlayStation Plus, because again, Essential, the thing is pay to play online. Everybody knows that that's a scam, but it is what it is. The extra and premium catalogs have just been rancid. They've been terrible, you know, relatively speaking to what it was. And given the price point has gone up, given that games are leaving the service in droves. Like, look at the Square Enix catalog that was available a year and a half ago versus what's available today. The Square Enix catalog has been massacred, and that was a big drawing factor to the early days of PlayStation Plus. That's just not there anymore. Bandai Namco games, that got pulled in droves, and you're getting these limited quality editions. So when I hear him say stuff like, oh, the increased value proposition, or we're increasing the value, like, bro, that's a lie. That is an outright lie. At least from my vantage point, covering Plus month to month. Now, if you want to throw in PlayStation Core and game streaming on Portal, like, bro, whatever, I guess. But, again, covering the catalog month to month, it is terrible what's going on with Extra and Premium. But that'll do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. As always, sound off there. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.